Namaste, welcome to Gita's Kitchen. In the Srimad Bhagavata Puranam, in the 10th canto, Dashamaskanda, chapter 52, shlokas 37 to 43, these 7 shlokas contain the message sent by Rukmini to Krishna. That is Rukmini's Sandesha to Krishna in the form of a letter, we can say, where she requests Krishna to come and take her away in marriage because her brothers are planning her marriage with Shishupala, which she does not want. So I thought this is an ideal location, and I felt, with all these cows and calves and the typical rural atmosphere, my mind was going back to Krishna every time. So this Rukmini's letter to Krishna, I wanted to share with you on this video. This story of Rukmini's letter to Krishna, or Rukmini's Sandesha, her message to Sri Krishna, is a very interesting one, because it is here that a girl is proposing to Krishna and asking him to come and take her away in marriage and save her from Shishupala and her brother Rukmi too. Just imagine, in those days there was no WhatsApp, no email, no internet or social media, but that is how she passed on her message through a guru who conveyed the message so beautifully, and Krishna came readily as planned and took her away in his chariot. What a beautiful story. See, this is a very interesting story. Bhishmaka was the king of Vidarbha. He had 5 sons. The names of these 5 sons were Rukmi, Rukmaratha, Rukmakeshan, Rukmabahu and Rukmamali. And finally they had a little daughter named Rukmini. So our little Rukmini very often goes and sits in the satsang, that is where the saints come and they all discuss the very good things about Krishna and his Leelas, his Govardhan Dharana, Kalinganartana, his Rasa Krida, Putana Moksha and so many other things. And then she is really enthralled listening all that, listens to the story of Rama and his valor too. And now she learns that Sri Krishna is now the king of Dwaraka. Now Rukmini, hearing all this about Krishna, especially that he has become the king, she wants to marry Krishna. This is her secret desire, and one day she expresses this desire to her father, and her father is also very happy, and he hopes, he also wishes, oh, will I be able to get Krishna as my son-in-law. So then he goes to the court and announces this, that he wants his daughter Rukmini to get married to Krishna. But then everybody is happy except his son Rukmi, the eldest son Rukmi. He is unhappy and is furious and he shouts at his father. He says, Dad, are you mad? Are you a lunatic? You want our Rukmini to be married to Krishna, that cowherd? He has got no education at all. He went to school only for 64 days. His parents were in prison. He doesn't even have a proper place to stay. He is hiding from his enemies and lives on the seas. Shira Sagara Sayana. And then look at his color. He is pitch dark, and our Rukmini, she is so fair and beautiful. He is no match for our Rukmini, definitely not. I will not agree to Rukmini getting married to Krishna. So Bhishmaka the king is very upset at the behavior of his son Rukmi, and he says, see, you cannot badmouth somebody just because you don't know him. It is not correct of you to do this, but Rukmi is in no mood to listen. So then Bhishmaka gets very angry and he goes away in a huff. He says, okay, you do what you like, I don't care, and he goes away. This was because this Rukmi had a very bad plan. He wanted his sister Rukmini to get married to his friend Shishupala. Shishupala was the son of the king of Chedi, king of Dhamagosha, and he wanted Rukmini to marry this Shishupala. So when Rukmini hears of this, she is in tears, she is very upset, she does not want to marry Shishupala knowing his ill nature. Her heart is set on marrying Krishna, and then she thinks, now how can I get out of this? Rukmi has already started all the preparations for marriage, and I must find a way out for this. So every day she is worried, and then there's just one day to go for the marriage. And she thinks, oh, there is just a day left. Whom can I send to carry my message to Sri Krishna? Can I send the clouds as my messenger? No, the clouds will be too busy drinking the water of the seas. And then she says, can I send the bees to Sri Krishna to carry my message? Then again, no. She says, those bees will be busy drinking the nectar from the flowers of the Vaijayanti Mala. So, can I send my companions? That is also not safe. Whom can I send to meet Sri Krishna? There is just one day left. Who is the fastest? She thinks, and then she says, the mind is the fastest. Mind is the fastest to reach anywhere. But then if I send my mind to Krishna, will it ever return? Because my mind will always be with Sri Krishna. And then she thinks, yes, whenever we pray to God for something to happen, God will definitely help us out by some way. And it is at that time a Brahman comes over there, and he says, Kshemam Kuru Gopala, and Rukmini and her friends together, they go and tell this Brahmin this message which they want to be conveyed to Sri Krishna, and he agrees to carry the message for her. If our thirst for God is true, as I said, there will be some way out. And this brings to my mind, many years ago, several years ago, I once asked my father, Appa, can you tell me how will I know when I find a guru? I really don't know who is my guru. And he told me, Geeta, don't worry, a guru need not be in the form of a person. A guru can even be in the form of a book. And believe it or not, within a few days, I came across this Deivathin Kural book about our Mahaperiva, who to this day I consider as my guru, and no day of ours begins without our thinking of Mahaperiva, and he is the one who guides us in our lives every day, and without his blessings today we are nobody. So for Rukmini also, this guru came in the form of this Brahman, through whom she sends her message to Sri Krishna. So after consoling Rukmini, when the girls approach this Brahman, the Brahmana says, don't worry Rukmini, these invitations which your brother has sent are merely man-made. But I will personally go to Dwaraka. I am on my way to Dwaraka, and I will convey your message to him. You are the apt match for Sri Krishna, and definitely we will do something about it. And the verses which follow are about what Rukmini writes in her letter to Sri Krishna. So it is said, the Bhagavata, I think it is Sunanda by name, he finally reaches Dwaraka, and he offers his respects to Sri Krishna, and Krishna asks him, what brings you here? And he says, I have a message for you from Rukmini, and she wants to convey something to you. She has sent me a letter for you. And Krishna says, okay, go ahead, you read it yourself and let me know the content. So before we begin to write a letter, we often think, how should we address the person? So this also is what is going on in Rukmini's mind. She thinks, now I want to write this letter to Sri Krishna, but how shall I address him? So she starts thinking, she says, shall I address him as Swami? No, that would seem as if I am a saint. I don't want to address him as Swami. Then she says, shall I address him as Raja or Raja Shri? No, that would seem very formal. It would be as if I am a citizen applying for a petition. Then she says, shall I address him as Prabhu? No, it will look as if I am begging for something. Shall I address him as Prananatha? No, Krishna might not like it, because how can I call him as my savior, as a Prananatha even before marriage? So she goes on thinking, how shall I address him? And finally she starts by saying, Shrutvan Gunan Bhuvana Sundara. Bhuvana Sundara, that's how she addresses Krishna. Bhuvana Sundara, the most beautiful person in the entire universe. And the letter is also, the verses come in such a way as if for each line of what Rukmini has written, we also find what goes on in Krishna's mind and how he responds. So the first line which the Bhagavata reads out to him, he says, Shrutvan Gunan Bhuvana Sundara. So then Krishna thinks, you are calling me Bhuvana Sundara? Have you already seen me? Do you know how I look? And how can you admit me as a Bhuvana Sundara so soon? You have talked about my outward appearance, my look, calling me Bhuvana Sundara. But what do you know about my character? This is what Krishna thinks. And the next line is what Rukmini says, Nirvisha Karna Vivarai Haratonga Tapam. I have learnt all about your character and your lovely qualities, because I have attended these satsangs, and through these years I have received all the messages, all the great praises about your wonderful qualities. Nirvisha Karna Vivarair Haratonga Tapam. She says all the worldly miseries are lost when one hears about Krishna and his character. But there is only one tapam, one longing left for me, and that is to be united with you, Sri Krishna. So Krishna says, fine, you are talking about my character, but have you seen me? She says, your form has already built up in my imagination, that it is the essence of my entire world, and I just want to attain your feet, Sri Krishna. She says, the more I listen to you, the more I can see your form in my dhyana, and the more I am attracted to you. She tells Sri Krishna, see, I am a girl and I am quite shy by nature. I am not very expressive, but yet I long to attain you. And it is not only me, anybody who is immersed in your dhyana, who meditates on you, will long to attain you. So please understand my predicament, Sri Krishna, and come to save me. Then Krishna thinks, okay, you say you wish to attain me, but what punya have you done to attain me? What are your merits to attain me? So then Rukmini's next verse, she says, I have done lot of punya, maybe some which I know or which I may not be aware of too. But people say that the main thing one needs to attain your feet is Atma Samarpana, that is surrendering of oneself. And here I am ready to surrender myself to you. My longing for you is very great, Sri Krishna. Please come and take me away. So after hearing all this, Sri Krishna says, okay, even if I decide that I am going to accept you, see, I am a king, and in our custom for marriage you will be in the ladies or women's quarters. How can I enter there and take you away? Now this next verse is followed by Rukmini's plan. She says, you don't worry about that. So she gives the plan for them to meet, and she tells him, see, before the marriage, it is the custom for the girls to do a Gauri Puja in the temple nearby. So I will tell you about that. We will go there where only we ladies will be there. We girls will go there to do our Gauri Puja. You please come there, and from there you can take me away. So then Krishna says, okay, your plan is good. Does that mean that you want me to elope with you? Rukmini says, no, it's only a coward who will elope with somebody. I don't want you to be a coward. You come with your bow, the saranga, and take me away, fighting everybody valiantly, take me away rightfully as yours, as a Kanya Shulka. So then Krishna playfully says, okay, all this arrangement is fine. Let us say I don't reach in time at your Gauri Puja and not able to take you. Will you then get married to Shishupala? Rukmini says, definitely not. I might take hundreds of birds, but in any of my birds will I ever agree to be wedded to anyone else other than you, my Sri Krishna. So finally, after giving her suggestion for Krishna to meet her at the Gauri Puja, Rukmini signs off the letter saying, yours, Rukmini Devi. In between, what we saw are all Krishna's reaction to Rukmini's letter. Sri Krishna is very pleased with Rukmini's letter and gets his chariots ready to to go to Vidarbha and rightfully claim Rukmini he goes along with Balarama to Vidarbha. The wedding day finally dawns. Rukmini is dressed in a beautiful silk sari with lotus designs on the borders. She is wearing lovely ornaments. Her hair is beautifully plaited. She has got lovely flowers on her hair, a lovely tilak on her forehead. Beautiful necklaces adorn her neck. Her finger rings are dazzling and to the eyes of any onlooker. She has her toe ring. Her head is bent slightly in shyness. In one hand she is holding a lotus and another hand she is holding her friend, and she walks very gracefully towards the temple before getting the blessings of all the elders. Suddenly she hears the sound of the Panchajanya, that of Sri Krishna, and gets the smell of Tulsi Mala, which is a sign to her that Krishna is nearby. And she spots that Bhagavata, whom she sent as a messenger. Her hands go up in gratitude. Her eyes well up with tears because he has successfully taken the message for her to Sri Krishna, and Krishna has arrived now. All the princes from various places are waiting to see Rukmini, and they are blinded by the glitter of the rings on her fingers. And then Princess Rukmini, who has her head bent down in shyness, she realizes that in the pretext of moving a lock of hair from her forehead, she does like this, and then her eyes meet with the Lord. And the minute the eyes of Rukmini and Krishna meet, immediately Krishna comes there and sweeps her away in his chariot and goes away from that. Everything happens in a flash. And seeing this, some of the princes shout, "Oh, look, Krishna has carried her away," while the others are totally in awe and dumbstruck. And they say, "Oh, what a beautiful sight this is of the divine couple." Now the evil Shushupala, who has all the while been waiting eagerly to get married to Rukmini, is in a rage. He shouts at Rukmini, "Hey Rukmini, how have you betrayed me like this? I trusted you that you will get me married to your sister, and now see, Krishna has just taken her away in his chariot." And then Rukmini and Shishupala, everybody tried to chase Krishna and wage a war with them. But of course, Rukmini loses, and then he goes away to find a place in Bhojagatam. Krishna proceeds in his chariot and brings Rukmini to meet his parents, Devaki and Vasudeva. Then on an auspicious day, in the presence of all the rishis, devas and other great souls, these divine couple are united in wedlock, and so says Narayana Tirtha in his Kalyana Tarangam. This story of Rukmini Kalyanam is itself filled with Bhakti Bhava. So whether we want to look at the philosophy behind it or look at it as a letter from Rukmini to Krishna as Rukmini Sandesha, it is said to be a very, very auspicious one. So young unmarried boys or girls or their families are advised to read this Rukmini Kalyanam, so they are blessed with all auspiciousness and their marriages are settled soon and they have happy married life. Jai Sri Krishna. Thank you all for watching this video. It was really a very, very special moment for me for doing this video right here in this peaceful atmosphere, and hope you all feel Krishna's presence too and are blessed by Sri Krishna in your lives. Thanks for subscribing to Geeta's Kitchen. We'll meet again with another interesting episode from Geeta's Kitchen. Thank you.